Welcome back, everyone, to the Building Better podcast brought to you by the HBA of Northwest Michigan. I'm your host, Lauren Tucker, and I'm so excited to kick off this year's special Parade of Homes series with our title sponsor from Bayview Flooring, John Woolfolk. Hi, John.
Hey, Lauren. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. It's great to have you back in the studio.
Yeah.
It was so fun getting to know you last year and your team and all the cool things that are going on at Bayview Flooring. But I mean, that's nothing compared to what you guys have been up to this year.
Yeah, we've had a busy year. We've remodeled our showroom. We're kind of moving towards a design-friendly experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going for now. And yeah, it's been great. We've had some additions to the team. Our apprenticeship program's really starting to take off. So we've some younger kids from either CTC or referrals throughout the community that wanted to get interested in the trades and in the flooring. So that program has really caught some traction. And
Yeah.
we have two.
Let's talk about that for a second, because that's a unique thing and it's super cool because it's obviously there's a shortage of licensed builders in the state. We're at a tipping point as far as folks entering the trades versus the amount that are retiring and exiting the workforce. And it is incredible that your company has that foresight to grow your next workforce.
Yeah, it's been a struggle with us for the last couple of years. And frankly, we lose a lot of business because our lead times for installation are just getting to be way too long. A lot of our builders and partners have come to kind of work that into their schedule now.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate that we can't be more flexible and kind of agile with their
flooring installation is not an easy job.
No, people forget that it is residential construction. It's not like pulling an appliance out and putting it in. I mean, you're doing complete demo on areas with inside a home. So you're
dealing with potentially hazardous materials.
Yeah, a lot of those glues, and they're messy. They're hazardous.
Byproducts.
Yeah, pulling up carpet. Our installers are always complaining about going into a home and pulling up an old carpet.
You knew that they had cats.
Yeah, and there's just
Yeah, that's gross. That's a gross job.
Feces and cat urine and everything else.
And thank God that your team takes care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a glorious job.
Not
it's
always,
hard on the knees.
It is. Yeah. So our guys, the average age is right around 50. So they are getting older.
And that tracks with the averages around the state.
Does it? Yeah, I can imagine. So the industry in general, like many of the trades, are not well suited for these training pipelines and building awareness and creating careers. So we kind of took it upon ourselves. We've created an apprenticeship program where younger kids who may have interest, they'll come in, they'll work 6 months in the warehouse, just to see if they're a good fit, because it is a big commitment on our part, both financially, but just also the time commitment and resources.
Because you're supporting their training program, they're earning while they're learning.
Exactly. Yeah. So they'll come in, they'll get like an apprenticeship wage, and while they're in the warehouse, they'll get to see all the materials and kind of
learn about operations.
Yeah, the operations of it. And we get both kind of feel each other out. And then at the 6-month mark, we'll start putting them out with crews. And there is some industry training that we'll send them to throughout the country. So they'll get to do a trip or two to go to those trainings. And then, after hopefully a year and a half, they'll be able to join a crew. Yeah. Well, yeah. And even to go out on their own, we've done some commercial work with one of our newer installers at this point. He kind of graduated to the installer level, and he's doing great, and he's taking pride in his work, and he'll send me text messages of the carpets, the carpet runners he did or something. And
That's awesome.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
Well, I've had the pleasure of serving on the Career Tech Advisory Board with Jake Garcia from your team.
Yeah.
And that is, it's an incredible opportunity to bring industry professionals in to make sure that the program is meeting the needs of the industry, but also supporting the students that are in those programs, because we want to keep them. We want to keep them in the field. We want to help them either continue on at a construction management at NMC or place them with an employer.
Yeah.
And one of those individuals, was it Abe.
Yeah, Abe Canefield. Yep.
Yeah, Abe Canefield was the student, and him and his dad served on that committee as well. Really bright, driven young man.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's
Abe's
installing
incredible.
on his own?
He's installing on his own, and he has been for a little bit now. Yeah. He's been our best and brightest from the apprenticeship program.
He is a very promising young man, very put together, very driven.
Yes.
The Career Tech Center also has a fund that students can apply for when they're graduating to help them continue on in their field. And I believe he applied for funding to purchase his own install van.
He got some tools.
Tools. Okay.
Yeah,
I knew it
which
was
was
one of
great.
those
Yeah.
things. Maybe he bought the van on his own and then he got some of the tools.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's he took advantage of that, and he's awesome. Yeah.
So there are tremendous resources in the community through Michigan Works and the Department of Labor. Is that who you partner with?
We're in the process, with Michigan Works, because we've built something that is very fundable and it's lasting.
Yep,
so,
perfect. And it's amazing the different professions that program touches. That's one of the things when they do their presentation, they're like, guess how many professions have apprenticeships? And it's like hundreds.
It's more than you would ever think.
It's more than you would ever think. And they're adding them every day. So they find a company that's doing along the lines of what they're doing, and there is funding to help support you to pull that off. So that's awesome. And guys out there listening in the listening world, that is a great pathway to building our workforce and also building your team.
Yeah, it's been tremendous for us. So
That's
we'll see.
cool.
It's going to take a while until we kind of bear fruit from it, but
Yep.
it's definitely promising.
Well, anything worth doing, takes time. Yeah, so we've got the apprenticeship program going on. You guys are humanitarians as well. I know you've partnered with many of the area organizations in addition to our foundation and the HBA.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that work.
Yeah, so Habitat for Humanity, we're big supporters and donors of. They just wrapped up their last home out
At New Waves.
At New Waves, and then we're looking forward to starting the next project out in Kalkaska.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's great
Right
to
in
see.
town. They're going to be really well located and well built homes.
Yeah, they are. We're always impressed when we go in and see that the final outcome. They do a great job.
Habitat for Humanity is an incredible program, and the success rate is what it is because those in the program, they always say it's a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah.
And there is so much work that goes into from start to finish through education courses on being a homeowner, how to maintain budgets and those types of things. But more than anything, it's their sweat equity. Yeah. And we love partnering with Habitat for Humanity for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's a natural fit in residential construction, but also a huge portion of our volunteer base is those Habitat homeowners. And they each have the most amazing stories. Attend a Habitat luncheon and you will not leave with dry eyes.
Yes.
It's very moving, but they're also working alongside those volunteers that are helping them build their homes too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very full circle. It's great. I would encourage everybody to go to a ribbon cutting.
Go to a ribbon cutting, attend one of their lunches, or volunteer to work alongside with that sweat equity. Yeah. We're planning a work site day in early September once they get past the framing stage.
Yeah. Very cool.
We hope to bring a large number of our licensed professionals out there to help make a big dent.
All right.
Yeah. Awesome. And obviously you're partnering with the HBA.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you guys are our number one partner. So it's been great. We are obviously we're in the industry, and a lot of our clients are also members. So it's a great fit for us.
Yeah. Well, and we couldn't do the work that we do without your generous support. Obviously, you're not putting a home in the parade, but your team has touched many of the homes in the parade.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute. What kind of cool features are we seeing in flooring? You wouldn't think flooring is exciting, but it is really exciting.
It is, and there is a lot of different technologies that are always coming out, and every year they do a convention. It's usually in Las Vegas, but it's
we were in Orlando last year.
You were in Orlando, yeah.
The doll tile booth was incredible.
Yeah.
They built like these incredible, every little tiny, there was the Eiffel Tower and like a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Oh my
Had a
goodness.
tile. Yeah.
It is so impressive.
Yeah, so it's a big deal, and they're always racing to find new technologies to either make things trendy, more on trend or easier for installation. That's the current focus. So we're seeing some neat products that are more DIY focused.
Yeah.
They're still very much quality products. You're not necessarily the stuff that you get out of the big box stores.
Right.
They're still very much
High-end.
quality, but they are just easier for the if a homeowner wanted to install it
remember
themselves.
the first LVP luxury vinyl plank floor
Yeah,
that we put in our house, and my husband is a licensed
Yeah.
builder, but it was really challenging.
yeah,
And then this was in the days when they were the floating floors. And the problem is if you don't know what you're doing, the floor floats where you don't want it to
yeah.
float.
People don't realize floors move.
They do.
And so the designing,
And homes move. There's settling.
Exactly.
We live in a place where you're going to have sub-zero temperatures in the
Yes.
morning and tropical temperatures in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's the compression of all the building products. So yeah, they do move.
Yeah. That's when we're specifying products. Those are the questions we're asking, trying to find out what the environmental situation is. If it's just a summer home that's they turn off,
And you don't
the
really need to
HVAC
worry
at the end
about
of the year. Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes you have to worry about it more what you're putting in because
Okay.
then the temperature's going to drop down, the humidity levels are going to drop down below what they would if in your home because you're there year round. So,
Right.
and you have a humidifier going because
yes.
you don't want bloody noses. And,
Yeah, exactly. You got to pump. You got to
Yeah.
pump the moisture back into the air. That's
so-
interesting. I didn't even
So
think
yeah,
about that.
there's like a range that most flooring manufacturers want you to stay within.
Okay.
And so some of these summer homes get to be a little difficult and challenging because everybody wants to put these beautiful hardwood in, and it's like, well, you could
Specifically the natural wood.
yeah, you could, but it's gonna expand and contract, and
Yeah.
when you come back,
It's going to look different.
it's going to look different, and
You have cracking.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah,
It is cool to
a lot of
see.
education that goes into it.
Well, and thank God you guys are here. Your team is there. That's one thing. Like when you walk into your showroom, it's very open floor plan, and your team is all there.
Yeah.
And you can see the new construction specialists there with the blueprints and
Yeah.
working at their big tables, and it is actually, I love coming there. They also you let me bring my crazy dog,
Yes, we are very pet friendly.
which I love, because you would think, oh my gosh, why would you bring your dog to a flooring store? Like, oh my God, they could have muddy paws. What if they have an accident?
That's the whole idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's certain products that are built for people with pets, and so part of that education is
And the
just,
proof is in the pudding, because I brought the crazy and wonderful Blueford GSP, German short hair pointer, in when he was a puppy.
yes.
And he's a disaster. And it cleaned right up. Cleaned right up, and he left with a toy too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Bring your dog in, and you get a free toy.
Yep. And then make sure you let me know you're going and the dogs are there, because I want to come pet your dog. That's awesome. It is cool to see the innovation that's happening, because as you touched on earlier with the shortage in workforce, the easier that we can make a job so that you don't have to have as many people on site doing the install, that cuts down on the time and that timeline of getting to your installs, right?
Yeah. And that's how the industry looks at it. If they can shorten the installation time,
Then you can do more installs.
you can do more installation, because with the lack of labor, something needs to give. So if they're able to make these products a little easier to work with.
We're seeing that kind of across the board with some of the suppliers. And when you go to like the International Builders Show, which will be back in Vegas next year, yes. You see that, and there's a lot of highlight on that, like window installations that can take only one man, whereas you would have two or three doing that installation, And that's cool to see that it's going through all of the different aspects
Yeah.
of the supply chain.
No, it's moving in the right direction for sure. And that's across the board.
But we still got to have the people to be there to do it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So when I met with your team, one of the things that really resonated with me with your leadership team was the passion you have for the individuals that work for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about them.
Yeah, we have an amazing team. I think of it as, take care of the team, and they'll take care of you and the business. And they all take pride in what they do and are just amazing people and work well together. We just try to reinvest into our folks. We just implemented a bonus structure for our installers, which a lot of them were like, we've been in the industry for 40 years. We've never received a bonus. You know?
They're like the most important. Like
in my, they're
everything hinges on
their ability to produce
producing the final product.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it should be neat. Yeah. It's the bonus. It's kind of an interesting. We have a metric system, and we grade them on their production, their quality, their leadership role. Whether they're crew leads, whether they're taking on apprentices, training them, and then there's some other factors, whether they're getting good reviews from customers and good feedback, customer experience, exactly. Yeah. And then whether they're just willing to help out and try to solve difficult problems, or come in on a Saturday, because that's what the customer needs. And, so there's way to kind of earn points and game it to increase your bonus throughout the year. So it's
and you
neat.
touched on something there that I love to say about our industry. The professionals that work in residential construction are the most creative problem solvers I've ever met. Because you could be walking in and think this is just super easy. It's a very standard carpet install, but maybe the floor's not level or the walls aren't straight. Like there's so much that can happen. They can throw a wrench in things.
Yeah, in theory, it doesn't sound that complicated, but for anyone who's picked up a hammer or saw, it's you get into a project. Every single project's unique, and you have to solve problems on the go. And that's kind of the fun of it.
Yes.
In my part. I mean,
absolutely,
that's what I enjoy. So
I do too. It's never a dull moment.
No, it never
you just
is.
never know what your day is going to look like. You might end up on a podcast. You might end up on a job site. You just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, and I just want to talk again a little bit about the remodel that took place on this showroom, because I didn't even know this was going on.
Yeah.
You guys were really quiet about it, but you expanded your showroom significantly. And the tile room, I could spend days in there looking at all of the cool stuff and the way you have it displayed.
Yeah.
Plus, when you walk in, there's a coffee bar. Everyone's super friendly. Like I said, dogs are like it's a dog friendly place. So if you want to bring your 4-legged friend, but it is a very warm and welcoming environment.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That's what we're going for. So we, like I said from the start, we're trying to move towards a design forward experience. So you come in, the products are well curated, and we're constantly curating what we're having as far as product offerings, and also which vendors that we're partnering with. We found that's an important piece to the success of it. And we move things around. My wife Margaret, she's a designer by trade, so she's real into feng shui, and you can definitely. It feels different.
It does.
It's just to walk around. It's not your typical big box store with rows of product. It's,
right.
It's a guided experience.
Well, and you're not just like looking at a tile on a wall. Like you guys, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can learn all about it, because like you don't want to pick the wrong tile for your bathroom floor. Because I'll tell you what, I picked the wrong tile out of a big box store for my bathroom floor, and it never looks clean.
Yeah.
And then the same goes true with the trends of the tiled walk-in custom showers too. Like you have to be very intentional.
Yeah, it's such an expensive investment these products aren't cheap.
And it's not easy to change it out.
No, and you want to get it right.
Yeah.
And so our main goal is to help folks find what they want and get it right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I know many of our members are proud customers of Bayview Flooring, and you've always been very generous in opening your doors to our members. We're excited to be bringing the annual chili cook-off in November back to Bayview Flooring. That is an event that everyone looks forward to every year, and the competition is pretty stiff. And I did have the chance to meet your family, which they're lovely.
Yeah, they enjoyed that.
Although now I need to know your brothers, because I mean, apparently you all are triplets.
Pretty much. Yeah. They both my brothers are twins. They're 2 years younger, and when we're together,
you're like the triplet.
We do. Yeah, everyone kind
That's
of turns
funny.
and looks at us.
I love that. You guys have the same hairstyle.
Yeah, we all lost our hair when we were early 20s, and
amazing.
Never looked back. Yeah.
Good genetics.
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the competition at the chili cook-off is stiff. Are we going to be seeing anything from you?
Not me. So it's tough. Randy and Jake, they're the resident chili chefs.
And Randy is the defending champ.
He is a defending champ. Yeah. So I'll
and Jake
probably
brings
take
that Texan flair.
Yeah, he does.
I can't eat his food. It's too spicy.
You and the rest of Northern Michigan. He brings me jars of salsa, so we get along well.
Yeah.
I like his.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, John, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you for sponsoring this incredible event, making sure that can continue in our community. It's a favorite. People look forward to it every year. Thank you for being great members, and thanks for sharing your story with us.
No, thanks for having us. We're excited. Yeah.
It's going to be a great parade, everyone. Tickets will be on sale the end of this month, May. You can find them at our website, hbagta.com, and those dates are June 18th through the 21st. You have an opportunity Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come out and see the teams that built these beautiful homes, get your questions answered, and maybe find your future builder. And tune in next time for the HBA Building Better podcast.